I was standing beside my father's hospital bed. The air smelled of antiseptic mixed with the faint cologne he had always worn. Machines beeped steadily, cold and uncaring. He looked fragile, but his eyes were still sharp when he spoke. "My girl," he said quietly, "everything will be yours. But there's one rule. You work as a cleaner at my company for 1 year. A test," I nodded, forcing down the sting in my throat. On my first day, broom in hand, I froze. I overheard them to coworkers laughing in a corner, whispering names I wasn't meant to hear. Names that weren't mine. My heart didn't race. It slowed. This wasn't panic. It was calculation. He had chosen a replacement. Someone who believed they could step into my life. I didn't confront anyone. I didn't make a scene. I listened. I learned. My father's empire had always seemed untouchable. Built on marble halls and manicured gardens, where I grew up believing blood and loyalty were enough. I loved him. I trusted him. But standing there, watching shadows move across the office floor, I realized trust could be used against you. The signs had been there all along: missed calls, vague excuses, quiet tension in the boardroom. I told myself it was nothing, until I heard them laughing about me, calling me a temporary placeholder. That was when the truth settled in, cold and sharp. Someone else thought they could inherit what was mine. I felt the anger, but I locked it away. Rage was loud. Patience was powerful. I started watching everything: meetings, files, careless comments. I learned who lied, who stole, who climbed on the backs of others. Every secret became a brick in my plan. I made small moves: a misplaced memo, a silent exposure of a financial error, invisible actions with devastating results. I kept cleaning floors, but in my mind I was building my way up. I followed money trails, uncovered fake invoices, gathered proof of betrayal. I waited, the cleaner with dirt on her gloves, hiding a blade made of patience in plain sight. By the time I walked toward the boardroom, I knew exactly who would fall first. I watched the imposters smile, convinced they had already won. I let them believe it. Their confidence worked in my favor. I recorded conversations, collected documents, and quietly placed the right people in the right corners of the company. No one noticed. Every detail mattered. Every mistake became leverage. The confrontation itself was almost effortless. I stepped into the room calm and steady, shoulders back, eyes clear. They greeted me with fake warmth, proud they had survived the year without suspicion. I let them talk. I nodded. I smiled. Then, slowly, I laid everything out: names, lies, forged signatures. The web they had spun to replace me unraveled right in front of them. I watched their faces change: surprise, then fear, then quiet defeat. I never raised my voice. I didn't need to. The evidence spoke for me. The room fell silent as the balance of power shifted for good. My father's empire was never theirs to take. I left with my dignity intact, my revenge precise and controlled. No shouting, no chaos. Just the quiet collapse of someone who underestimated me. I stopped briefly in the cleaning closet, letting the irony wash over me. The same hands that scrubbed floors now held the keys to everything. When my father's will was read and his plan confirmed, I finally understood the lesson he had given me. Power isn't handed over. It's watched, earned, and sometimes taken quietly. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, right as the betrayer realizes the throne was never theirs. I wanted revenge, yes, but I gained something deeper: clarity, control, and the calm confidence of knowing my strength. I could have destroyed them completely, but restraint has its own beauty. Their fall was total, clean, and deserved. Now, standing in my father's office, the city spread out below me, I smile. Not out of pride or cruelty, but because the world finally sees the power I had all along. I inherited everything. I survived betrayal. I was underestimated at every step, and they learned too late who truly took their place.